Hi, I'm Mark Allen, and this is Mark Allen's Culinary Adventures. And we have an adventure today. I think we're going to Charlotte. I don't know if it's North or South Carolina. I think there's a Charlotte in both. I wasn't very good in geography. Well, anyway, hey, can you believe the holidays are here? I heard Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer by Gene Autry. And then I also heard Andy Williams, The Best Time of Year, and that was in the supermarket. Well, we're going to have some holiday fun today as we make a an exciting side dish that's really different because you can cook anything, and we'll tell you about that in just a couple of moments as we get started here on Mark Allen's Culinary Adventure. Pizza is not allowed for the holidays. Well, maybe for snacks and stuff. Hi, everyone. We're going to have some fun today. I want to just say thank you to B&U. B&U, of course, has been providing us with some honey, and they have a variety of honeys, both supplements and for cosmetic use as well. And you can always go to bnu.com. That's bnu.com. Uh, let's take a look at our Melissa cam. Melissa, of course, provides us with our produce, and there's all kinds of produce. Today, we got from them the pearl onions, and you can see the package back here. Uh, there's yellow, white, and purple in there. I've already done some things with those. We have other things in there uh, from Melissa's. I have to tell you, a week ago, this maybe I can show you in a minute. This, there we go, was green, and I showed it to you then. This was a green tomato. It's turned red. Okay, I'm going to put it back. We have some limes in there as well. And then we had some other produce from our friend Daryl Wayne. Okay, let us go to one of the Charlottes, and we'll find out which one that is as we bring in Jorj Morgan, Chef Jorj Morgan. Hello, Jorj.
So nice to be with you.
It is nice to have you with us. I'm. I've got to start by saying, George.
I know.
I mean, you're
Strange
gorgeous,
spelling.
George.
There's a whole story background. Just know that it's a George with a J, but I'm married to George with a G. So there's a bunch of Georges in my hood.
Oh my goodness. And you know, you give meaning to the word or the saying gorgeous George. You know,
Well,
do you know who Gorgeous George was?
I do. A fighter.
A fighter, a wrestler.
I got a little of
So
that in me too.
look at those biceps too. All right. We're going to start. Let's see. I'm going to bring these over. Um, I'm going to start by showing you. I think we should start by caramelizing these onions. What do you think?
So what we're making is a great side dish for your Thanksgiving dinner, and it's really a twist on the good old-fashioned green bean casserole, which I don't know about you, but everybody loves. So what the recipe in this new book, which we will talk about in a sec, is a green bean that we really cook and cook and cook and soften. And then we top it with a caramelized pearl onion. And it is reminiscent of the dish, but it's just a little bit lighter, a little bit newer, a little bit fresher.
Right. And there's not as much, there's, we don't have any preservatives like in the mushroom soup that you use for old, uh, that old recipe, and then with the crumbled onions and stuff on it. Before we start, I forgot, let's have a toast. I'm going to be drinking a, a Viognier from France.
And I'll be drinking a Chardonnay from California.
Oh,
Cheers.
okay. Cheers. Happy holidays
To everyone.
to everyone, no matter what you celebrate. Uh, which Charlotte are you in right now?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
And there is a Charlotte, South Carolina.
Not that I'm aware of, but I think there's a Charlottesville in Virginia.
Oh,
So
okay.
there's a lot of Charlottes everywhere in the South.
Got it. I knew a lot of Charlottes. I wasn't very good in geography. So, Mr. Bose from junior high, sorry, I couldn't get him right. Um, so let's start with this. I also, the recipe, can you bring up the book, please? The recipe is right here on the bottom. Yep, there we go. You can cook anything, and that's where this recipe is in, right? It,
Absolutely.
on page 35. I saw that, Carol. And um, uh, and there are four editions of the book, five now.
So it's a
I,
5 volume series. And what we basically do is take a thing, and whether it be an egg or a green bean or a chicken breast or a piece of fish or how to make bread, we take that thing and I'm going to tell you how to make it a bunch of different ways, simple to a little bit more exotic. And through the series of books, you'll really learn to have confidence in the kitchen.
got it. Uh, we've got what I did earlier today was um, I took the onions and I put them in boiling water. Then I put them in ice cold water, and then I squeezed them, and now they're soft and ready to be cooked. These are also the size of cocktail onions, if you like those. And at one point, I'm going to learn how to make cocktail onions uh, because a lot of the cocktail onions that are in a bottle have all kinds of nasty preservatives, and we tried to stay away from those. Chef Jorj, how did you get involved in cooking? And then we'll start.
Well, long story, but I learned to cook from my grandmothers. We actually lived on the same, they lived on the same street. And I had an Irish grandmother with a ton of kids and a bunch of grandchildren, and a Polish grandmother with an only child and 2 grandchildren. And so I learned to make really vast amounts of food and really pretty little delicate food.
Mm,
And then I got married and I went into catering and just have a long story about everything. But
food
cooking
is
has
your
always
life.
been DNA.
Food is your life, right?
It has been.
Got it. All right. Um, in the recipe, this does not exist, a red bell pepper. But I thought I'd chop it up a little bit. It'll add some color, a little bit of flavor. And do you mind if somebody um, takes your recipe and improvises?
Mark, actually, that is my goal. I want people to be confident enough in the kitchen that they look at a recipe and say, oh, I don't have that, but I can use that. Oh, I have that. I would like to add that. A recipe to me is only a guideline. It's just an outline. You're supposed to start with that and then use your creativity, what you're hungry for, whatever you have in the kitchen around you, and then build on that. And then you're going to create your favorite dish.
Well, it's funny because I do that all the time. And I remembered I was out in our kitchen and refrigerator, and I saw that we had uh, a, a bell pepper left over from last week.
Well, the
And
beauty about what you do is that you get these gorgeous gifts from the farmers that live around you. And many
yes,
times there are bounty. I mean, might have a recipe that calls for something that may not be in season. So the fact that you can learn to take something from that farmer and build it into what you want to make and create and deal with a recipe that starts with a green bean, but can be broccoli rabe, it can be cauliflower, it can be whatever you have fresh from the market. And that's the goal of this book, to teach you how to do that.
And I have to say that Jorj has done a lot of work. We're going to see what my dish should look like. Okay, we're going to start with the onions. So we've got a pan. What should I put in there first? Some butter?
To caramelize onions, basically what we want to do is cook them low and slow. So we can cook them in fat, and the fat can be olive oil, it can be grapeseed oil, it can be butter. In this case, I choose butter because it gives it a real rich texture. And if we're not having a rich dish at Thanksgiving, we're not doing it right.
Right. Exactly. I go for the leg and the thigh on a turkey because that's richer than that breast that's dry.
Totally agree.
Okay. So how much butter do I put in?
As much as you want. How many onions do you have?
So
Coat the
there's
bottom
about
with
three.
butter.
I think there's 3 tablespoons right here.
Perfect. Let's start with that. If we need more, we'll add it.
Yep. And that'll melt up in just a moment. I
Can we talk
love watching the butter melt.
Yeah, I do too. Can we talk about the onions for a sec?
I'm sorry.
Can we talk about the onions?
Oh, yeah, let's.
Okay, so when you get a pearl onion from your farmer or from the grocery store, it comes like this. It's little mini onions. Mark's were a little cocktail size. These were a little bigger. As he said, there are white ones, there's gold ones, there's purple ones. All of them are perfect. So when you cook them, you can do it so many ways. You can just peel this onion. That'd be fine. But to make it a little simpler, you can boil them in boiling water for 3 to 4 to 5 minutes, depending on the size. And when they're done, what to simply peel them, you kind of pop them out. They kind of go like this. Boom.
And
Onion.
but
Peel. And now you have it. Now, if you want to make it even easier on yourself, you can go to the store and you can buy frozen pearl onions. And once you thaw them, you can do exactly what Mark's doing right here and caramelize them. So
I've
easy.
even seen them in a can. I've even
Ooh,
seen them in a can. So,
wow.
all
Great.
right. So I'm letting that melt up. And so I have the recipe in front of me, but it's too far away. So let's see. We've got the butter in there. I'm going to throw in the onions in just a minute, right?
Sure.
All right.
Are you
May
going to
as well.
put the peppers in with your onions, or are you going to choose to put them in with the green beans?
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
Are you going to choose to put the peppers in with your onions or the green beans?
I was going to ask you.
You get to pick.
I get to.
They
I'll put
both
them in
work.
with. I think I'll put them in with the green beans.
Perfect.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is put in the onions here, and then I'm going to stir them around, get them nice and covered. And I think we need to let them cook before we add anything else.
We can at any point
Ah,
now when you're caramelizing an onion.
hey,
At any point, you can do 2 or 3 things. What you want to do is just sweeten it a tad. So you can add a little bit of balsamic vinegar. You can add a little bit of brown sugar. And I heard you talk about honey from a local farmer. You could even add a
right?
little, and that'll just help to sweeten and brown the onions.
I have to say hi to John Schuback. Um, he says this is fun. John, will you cook with me? We've had a couple of doctors cook. John was on Late Night Health a couple of weeks ago, and he's a great guy. We enjoyed having him on. We promised to have him on again. But if you want to cook with me, we've got you on in January, John. Okay? All right. Here we go. So that's going. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch these around a little bit. I'm going to move this back here. Turn this on. And Carol will keep me informed. I'm going to move this over to here, and we'll cook them over on that one, and turn that one down. Okay. And John, this is live. Okay, we're live. Good. Tell us what you cook with me. Okay, John. Okay. Something heart healthy. All right. What was I going to do? We're going to do the green beans at the same time. So tell me what I should do now while the onions are caramelizing. And should I add the balsamic and the other ingredients to the onions, or wait till they start browning?
Again, you can do that now if you'd like. Yeah, add the balsamic vinegar or the brown sugar, whatever you're going to choose to caramelize the onions. You can go ahead and do that now. I assume you have it like on medium heat, and it's going to cook a while. We want to get it going. We want to get it browning, and then we're going to reduce it and slow cook it a little bit to let them caramelize. On your
I'm gonna let them brown a little bit, and then we'll add that other stuff in.
Perfect.
Okay,
And then the
John.
green.
Okay, green beans. What are we gonna do with the green beans?
Olive oil or butter, or a combination of both in your pan.
Okay, we're gonna put in some olive oil, and we thank our olive oil provider. Gosh, Garcia de la Cruz. I love their olive oil. They will be cooking with us again in January or February. And we had one of the best cocktails I've ever had was with the Garcia de la Cruz olive oil. It was delicious. It was great. Okay. Um, hey, John, let us know where you're watching us from. You're watching us on LinkedIn. Okay, thank you. I could see that. Just wanted to know. Um, so I've got the oil heating. What should I do next?
Let's put our green beans in.
How about the green beans? How about I'll put in the peppers first?
Perfect.
And I've got quite a bit of green beans. I may not cook them all. Well, there. And do I need to add any more olive oil?
Couldn't hurt.
Couldn't hurt. Carol, can you get me some more olive oil, please?
And then you can season them with a little salt and pepper.
Got it. I'm going to use some Melissa's multi-colored pepper. This is a rainbow.
Nice.
And I like more pepper than I do salt.
Perfect.
Move that around a little bit. The onions are caramelizing over here.
Yay.
Just a dash of salt. Now, these are your green beans are called super soft, and I had a question about that because most people cook my mother used to cook green beans super soft. Today, people cook their green beans al dente, which means if you hear this, they snap. right?
Correct.
This is a retro dish.
Well, of course, you can serve this dish with al dente green beans. Absolutely, if that's your preference. The reason we called it super soft is because we're going back to the original casserole recipe. The green beans that you got out of the can, which my kids used to eat all the time straight out of the can, are soft and a little mushy, and it has that green bean condensed flavor. So we call it super soft because I cook the green beans in chicken broth for a long period of time. Now, on Thanksgiving or any other day, if you want to make this recipe, you can make it foolproof by just sticking it in the crock pot or a slow cooker. You put your green beans in, you brown them in there, and then you put your chicken broth in there and you let them go low and slow. And you can cook them all day. And once you come out, you're going to have this super soft green bean. You can also do it in the pan as you're doing with the chicken broth and over a medium heat, and they'll soften up within 20 minutes. But the longer you go, the more super soft they will be.
Okay. So I added some more oil.
Good.
They are cooking. The onions are browning nicely. And I'll show you that in a moment or two. What's our next? Oh, I know. What else do we add to the green beans right now? Oh, and Dr. John has said he'll make a Persian-style eggplant and a chicken stew. Ooh,
That sounds
okay.
yummy.
And he is a heart surgeon after all. Okay.
After you have some color on the green beans and the green peppers, put the chicken broth in there.
Okay. And so I've done that. Chicken broth goes in next. Thank you. This is 1 can of chicken broth. It's about 14 ounces, a little bit more than the recipe calls for. But what would I do with 2 ounces of leftover chicken broth?
That's fine.
Yeah. And the other thing is that if you want to make this vegan, leave out the butter, use olive oil, right? And you can always use a vegetable broth. All right. So I'm not going to use it all. I'm going to turn that up. And
We can
does that
actually
look pretty or what?
Yeah, he's dreaming. We can actually smother those green beans in chicken broth because what we're basically doing is braising the green beans in the broth. So that's all that broth is going to really soften them and turn them that really bright green color.
Got it. And I turned it way up because of the broth so that the beans will cook.
Perfect. And if you want to make it go even faster, you put a little lid on it. Keep that heat in, we'll get it all boiling and going, and then you reduce it to a simmer and just let those green beans simmer in the
All
broth.
right, we're going to cover the green beans at this point.
Perfect.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch so I can show you how the onions are going. Look at this. Ooh, does that smell good? Now,
They're so good.
yeah, it's looking great. Smells terrific. Dr. John, can we eat just a little bit of butter? Is that allowed? Okay. I'm going to turn the heat down on these.
They're looking great.
So I have some other things here. I've got some We've got some brown sugar. Stir it all in. And this is something that I think you could do, you know, it's really easy.
It's really
This
easy.
is
And these little onions are delicious, and you can use them in so many different recipes. And the cool thing about this is if you're working on your menu for Thanksgiving and you're getting to start cooking this weekend, you can make those onions today, cool them, put them in a sealable container, and then just put them in the fridge until you're ready to use them, and then heat them back up for your casserole on Thanksgiving.
got it. All right, we've got, and oh, oh, I have some, oh, of course. Doctor says yes, you can add some butter. Okay, which is
Don't
good.
stop.
Okay. All right, this is some balsamic vinegar. I'm going to add a
It's a
little bit of that. Now
yes,
I added.
great.
Oh, does that smell good?
It's
I'm going
so
to turn
good.
that heat down.
Yes.
Um, I'm.
Now, can I tell you a little bit about the book, Mark?
Oh, we got to talk about the book. Yes, that's a good
Yeah.
idea. Thank you.
So
The whole
what's
series.
the whole series is great. But what's very unique about this book is that your viewers are getting to see you cook and how to cook caramelized onions. But if one of my readers hasn't found you yet, which is a sad thing, but they want to learn how to cook caramelized onions, you can open the page to the recipe. There'll be a QR code there. You can snap on it with your camera, and there'll be me, should be you, showing everybody how to caramelize the onion. Lots of QR codes. There's
On each
130
page.
different, yes, 130 videos within the 5 books. Totally instructional, teaches you everything how to scramble an
Right
egg,
there.
to making eggs Benedict, to making beef Wellington, to carving a chicken, to folding whipped cream. Everything you want to know about a thing is in this book.
So let me ask you: Is it possible uh, uh, to have all 5 of the books and then literally learn how to cook by looking at these videos? I mean, it's like having you in the kitchen,
It's absolutely,
right?
that's exactly the point. Yes, all 5 books, they come in a hardcover or a soft cover. You can have all of the videos. Along with the books comes a free app that you can download onto your phone, and you'll enter a community of cooks that are talking about the recipes, giving exciting different changes to the recipes, just like you're doing with adding
Right.
the pep. This community of cooks is going to add and subtract all kinds of different things, making this an even more evolved recipe situation. So, and learning different techniques, and all the videos are on the app as well, and it's all free.
The green beans, oh, they're cooking up really nicely. They're a bright green.
Perfect.
Now I have some, whoops, I do have some garlic. Did that go into the green beans?
Absolutely. We could saute some garlic and put it in with the green beans, but you added your pepper. So, we don't have to. We could have. But I wouldn't add it at this point because we need to cook it a little bit first.
Got it.
But
Oh, what about adding it? What about adding it to the onions?
perfect.
So I've got 3 cloves of garlic that we'll
Yes.
add.
And
And
that'll,
garlic, of course, is
yeah,
very heart healthy.
yes.
Oh,
And that'll go great with all the sweet onions, and the garlics will, it's so super together.
we'll let I'm going to bring that up just a little bit. I'm gonna switch pans again. I have to tell you, I almost reached out and grabbed the bottom of that pan. I would have needed Dr. Chubak to help me if I had done that. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look.
If you had a heart attack doing it.
Oh, yeah.
He's not that far away, right? Yes. So, doesn't that look pretty? I've got the red and the green.
Now it's a Christmas side dish.
So we've got Christmas covered. What can we make? Blueberry and ice cream for Hanukkah. And,
There you go.
right? I'm going to turn that up just a little bit. Yes, dear. I'm sorry? Oh, yeah, yes, thank you. I'm going to keep that on very low. The onions are terrific. Now, I think we're almost done here.
Yes. You're ready to
Aren't
go.
we? Right?
What the doctors do.
Be careful.
That's good advice.
You're very clever, doctor. Thank you very much. John's a very nice man. We had a good time a couple weeks ago. We got to get his show up on latenighthealth.com, our sister program. Okay. There we go. Hey, John, just out of curiosity, do I look like, well, you saw me what I look like, but am I acting any different than I did on Late Night Health? And I have to tell you, we will be on YouTube tomorrow and also Facebook. Apologize, there was a little glitch, and every week we've got something else that we have to fix. Okay, I'm going to do something. I'm going to take.
I'm not sure, but I think you can add that kind of butter.
Onions are fabulous.
I'm looking for my tongs. I'll use these. So I'm just going to walk off over here. I'm going to take a little bit of the green beans here. See if I can scoop up some red pepper. Like that. Ooh.
What the doctor's saying now.
Ah, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. We've had some issues. Now, I'm going to pour just a little bit of this and then get a little bit of the sauce over there.
Yum.
I wish you were with us.
So do I.
Yeah. So that's still pretty hot. Okay, so I'm going to wait just a second. The 5 books, again, are You Can Cook Anything. And we've got one back here. This is wings and fishy things. Chicken wings are one of my favorite things to eat. I love chicken wings. And this one is salad and veggie things.
Yes.
So, yes?
Yes, and the first one covers eggs and cheese and noodly things. And the third one covers burgers and dogs and all things meat, all different kinds of cuts of meat and what you can do with it. And the 5th book is all about baking. We're going to teach you how to bake bread, make your own pizza dough. Then we're going to go to cookies and cakes. We're going to make our own ice cream, infused cream, a pavlova, and maybe some simple syrups for some great cocktails.
Ooh, simple syrup. We do that for whiskey sours. All right, here
Yum.
we go. First, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna stab this. Look how great that green is.
Isn't it beautiful? Thank you, your farmer. Thank you, farmers.
Absolutely. Thank you, Melissa's. Melissa's brings in produce from all over the world. The first ones that I've never had dragon fruit until I met Melissa's. That was just one thing that I can think of. Mm, okay, now I'm going to eat an onion. Oh, I love that.
I'm so glad.
Oh man, you talk among yourself. Mm,
And the peppers are a real pretty addition. And you probably get that little crunch.
right, they still have the crunch, and I like that.
I do
I
too.
think I like that better than the than soft. And
Perfect.
the ah, John, that's great. Well, thank you very much, John. We really appreciate that. Um, Happy to help. Give me a call, and I've got your number. We'll get you on the show in January. I promise. I'm going to have another sip of wine.
I'll join you.
Hmm. This dish will go great with turkey. It'll go great with, I think, with an eggplant dish. Got it. And it will also go great with any meat dish. So, pork chops, uh, baked barbecued pork chops, chicken. This is really nice. And that onion sauce is wonderful.
Thank you. And you add a little sauteed chicken and it's a dish on its own.
Oh, that you could saute the chicken in the onion sauce. Oh my God, that'd
I
be
know.
great. Cheers, John. Listen, everybody, thank you to Garcia de la Cruz. Thank you very much to B and you, and thank you very much to Melissa's um, and Robert Schuler. And I wanted to say, when you're here on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us, will you please? It's real easy, and that way you'll get a notice when we're doing a new show. You can subscribe to us on YouTube as well, uh, and that would be great. I thank you very much for tuning in. Next week, we're going to have fermenting fun. We're going to do 3 different dishes. Yep. We're going to make kimchi. We're going to make, what was the other one, Carol?
Pickles.
The tomatoes. We're going to show you how to make fermented green tomatoes. And there was a third one. What did we make?
Radishes,
No.
cabbage.
No, that was, we. Um, Maybe we only did the 2. I had to think
We'll
about
watch
that.
the show.
Whatever. We're going to have fermenting fun next week here on Mark Allen's Culinary Adventures. Thank you, staff. Thank you, everybody. Carol, thank you for all the chopping and cutting and everything you did today.
And hang on,
Thank you.
George.
Hang on, George. Don't go away.